Welcome back to the new #1 morning show in Northwest Indiana. News, sports, education, and entertainment. Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith. Brought to you by the Gary Community Schools Corporation.
All right, everybody, we're back 35 minutes after the hour on a terrific Thursday. I so want to say Thirsty Thursday, but I don't know if it's appropriate. Not yet. Not yet for me. If it was an afternoon show, it'd be thirsty.
Yes.
But nonetheless, it is a beautiful Thursday. It's the 16th of July, 2026, and this is Wake Up GI with Jeffrey Smith. As promised, the cavalcade of wonderful, smart women are coming through the show this morning. We're starting off, of course, with our good friend who has been, it seems like it's been about 3 months or so.
No,
yeah,
1 month.
about 3 months or so since our good friend, Mary Cossey, real estate agent extraordinaire, has graced our show with her presence, and we've really been picking her brain each time she's come in. And she is in studio today, and I don't know those of you that watch us streaming, we've really been having some interesting conversations off mic, and we're going to bring all those conversations to the microphone right now. But before we do all that, I want to say good morning to our good friend. What's going on, Mary?
Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Thankful Thursday.
There you go. Thankful Thursday.
Later, it'll be Thirsty
there you
Thursday.
go. Save me from myself. Anyway, though, once again, happy Thursday to you. You are absolutely. We appreciate you getting up and coming out. You're a busy woman anyway.
I enjoy coming to these sessions every month.
Yeah.
I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy providing the information.
Yeah.
And I enjoy making sure that people are aware.
Right.
So I'm loving it.
Good. We're glad. Yeah, I was telling you when you, like I said, when you first got here, we were talking yesterday about a report that I kind of was getting into. CNBC, they do these lists. I love lists, and that's why we're talking about it. But they were talking about the state of Indiana, and Indiana is like number 10 overall as it relates to the best places in the country to do business. But it's number 49 when it comes to quality of life. And so we started to get into the minutia and things like that. And when we got into quality of life, it started to come up, I'm very positive. I know you know this better than anything, but they were doing comparisons about the one thing that lures people over here is obviously our property tax, our caps, and they gave the analogy that in this Gary area, for instance, because what are we at, a rate about 4.9 or 4.5 or something like that, but you take a $200,000 home in Lake County, Gary specifically, and you're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 in property taxes. You go right over the border to Calumet City. Calumet City, you're paying up to $6,000 in those property taxes based on that rate that they do in Illinois. So it got into a whole conversation, and then we started talking about real estate surplus, and I decided to put a plug in it because, of course, I knew you were coming in. So with all that being said, kind of tell us what's going on with the market.
Okay, sure. Good morning again. I think what I want to start with is the housing market in Northwest Indiana is tight.
Yeah. Is it?
It's a little tight right now, yes.
Are people holding on to their homes? What's going on?
They are, and the analogy that I use is if I've got a home and I'm paying 2.3 or 3% interest and I don't have to move.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna move because right now the rates are hovering at right at 6%.
Yeah.
And that's what's making it a little difficult. People are holding on. People are waiting.
Yeah.
Only time that there's circumstances require people to move.
Right.
Divorce, relocation.
Job or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I'm seeing that people who refinanced during COVID, they're holding on, and I don't blame them
because of that 3% rate that they got.
Absolutely. Because think about it. Let's say we're sizing.
Yeah.
You're gonna buy. Say we're in a $250,000 house right now at 3%.
Yeah.
You want to buy $400,000 at 6%. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
In terms of what you would pay.
Yeah.
So they're holding out. There is inventory there, but it's not lasting long.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to see multiple offers.
Yeah.
On properties, really good properties. Case in point, I showed a client a property in Gary on 5th and Jerry. Beautiful home. When I tell you, immaculately well done. The contractor did an amazing job.
Right.
It had been on the market. The client, the buyer actually was trying to sell their house in Illinois, and the seller kept extending because they couldn't get their house sold.
Yeah.
And finally the seller said after 3 extensions, I got to put it back on the market because their house just wasn't selling because of the things that we talked about.
Right.
Interest rates, marketability, So he put it back on the market. My client saw it. We went to see it. They
Yeah.
had an offer on it already, but it was in a negotiation situation. What's called a counter offer. So we went ahead and put our offer in.
Yeah.
Because we were going to go full price and not ask for any concessions, which make it attractive. So when you tell me you're doing counter offer, that means you're in negotiation stage.
Exactly.
So it gives us an opportunity to slide in. But yesterday morning, when we submitted the offer, the counter offer also came in signed. So if it had not been signed, they could have withdrew their counter offer.
Yeah.
But once it's signed, it's the deal.
Now, how
So we
many
locked the
agents
house.
are in play in something like this?
And so you got the listed agent,
Yeah.
you have me, and you have the agent for the other person that's trying to buy the house.
Right.
There's 3 agents in play. Yeah, so, and that's what you're seeing when you see really good houses
Yeah.
that are well done in terms of their renovation and things like that. Inspection had been done, inspection had cleared, appraisal had been done, it appraised at value. It was an easy deal to move into. Unfortunately, my client didn't get it, so we're back out here.
Yeah.
But again, this is a good opportunity because in Indiana, in Northwest Indiana, our property taxes are capped.
Yeah.
And people are seeing that, and
Yeah.
they're excited about that.
Yes,
Versus
absolutely.
spending $6,000 to $12,000, property taxes are upwards if you're buying a $400,000 house.
Yeah.
$12,000 to $20,000.
Exactly.
So it makes a big difference. The market is still good.
Yeah.
But you've got to stay on top of it as an agent. You got to be combing that MLS, looking for the new stuff all the time. So I have a tickler on my phone. So whenever something new hits the market, I get an email.
Nice.
And as soon as I see it, I send it out to the people who are interested
Right.
in something in that price range. So that's where we are. The market is a little tight. The housing
Is it a
inventory-
buyer's market though? Is it, because I was reading something as exactly what you just laid out, a lot better than what I was reading it. But it appears that, a lot of people that are, to your point, trying to sell are not necessarily getting that offer or getting the offer that they put out there. It's kind of more looks like a buyer's market.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Because people are listing higher.
Yeah.
Despite, I can give you examples all day long, but you can go, and this is what I say to people, if you're going to list your house, listen to your agent.
Yeah.
They do this every day.
They know the market.
They run
Their fingers are on
they-
the market.
we have a pulse.
Yeah.
And, we have clients and they come and they say, oh, I want to list my house for $300,000. And we run the comps and it's saying 270 or 260.
You know what's doing that? We talked about it. Zillow.
Yes, and that's just, listen to your agent.
Yeah.
Your agent does not want your house to sit on the market. The longer your house sits on the market, the longer we don't get paid.
Yeah.
We're not going to guide you in the wrong direction. I'll give you another example. I have a property, 25th in Connecticut. I've been working with this lady for over a year. We had a buyer at the last minute. The something fell through. She had to rent for 6 months. Then things fell apart. She didn't buy the house. We put it back on the market. I tell my client we need to reduce the price.
Right.
I can't afford to reduce the price. Your house isn't going to sell at $150,000.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to sell. You need to reduce the price. Well, let's just see. We put the house back on the market. She's in a crunch situation because she's in a rehab loan, and it's scheduled to mature in July.
So she's trying to get from under it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So she says, I'm going to take it off the market. I'm going to talk to the lenders, agents who have cash buyers. Well, this morning I woke up.
Yeah.
The house is listed by a friend of mine
Yeah.
at a lower price.
As you recommended.
As I recommended.
Yeah.
And it just burns my pulse when that happens. Listen to your agent. Because what you do is we spend our time.
Yeah.
This client doesn't live in town. So I'm doing little property management for her when things go wrong. I'm coordinating contractors, etc. But then you want to come out of it and then you give it to somebody else at the same thing where I suggested.
You know what? This is a great segue into what we were talking about because, as you kind of painted that scenario, I think about, I've thought about this before. Obviously, I'm not a real estate agent, but what you're saying makes sense. And so, a lot of times, obviously, a home is the most expensive purchase and pretty much about at least 60% of a person's net worth. So they're counting on that.
Yes.
Kind of going where it's going.
Yes.
And there's also, this is what I want to ask you about, where we're going to get into kind of a little bit of a conversation we had earlier, where, the real estate agent, I don't think a lot of us have ever, outside of the real estate agent, you all have gone behind the curtain and understand what you deal with. Because for those of us or people out there who dream of owning homes or people who own homes and are not in the market of selling yet and things like that, the idea of a real estate agent is somebody that comes along and does work that you don't have time to do, right?
Absolutely.
You get what I mean? We hiring you. We're very busy. Get rid of my house for me. I'm telling you what I want, and I'll break you off when you do it. But there's a lot more that goes into that. It's kind of like you all are literally agents because you've got to deal with the psychology and massage
Absolutely.
the egos of people that somehow
Yep.
can't take the fact that, you know what, this is an ebb and flow market. You're a home. I know you think it's a $425,000 home, but quite frankly, I can show you comps. It's a $338,000 home right now. It's just the fact. And they don't want to hear that. And they're going to blame you. And they're going to try to break contracts and things like that. So tell me about what that is about as far as
Yes.
the day in the life of a real estate agent.
Absolutely. So most people don't watch what you see on TV, reality TV.
Yes.
They go, that's fluff, that's glamour. That's not what it is.
Yeah, flippers and all those
that's not what it
TLC.
is.
Yeah.
It's more than us opening up doors. So, for example, this morning I was up at 6:30. From 6:30 to 7:30, that's been an hour
Yeah.
combing the internet for houses for my clients.
Yeah.
That's an hour. Then you send them the homes, and some clients that I have, you just have to tell them right by first because some of them are very particular. I'm not going to go out. Let me back up. Before I go out, I have you sign what's called an exclusive buyer representation agreement.
Absolutely.
It's the law.
Yeah.
You have to do it. If we don't do it and you get caught, you'll get fined $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
The exclusive buyer representation form says that I agree to work with Mary Cossey for X amount of time, and this is what the price is to Caldwell Banker for a buyer is $250.
Yes.
And for the agent, it's whatever their commission is. So if my commission is 5%, that's not my commission, but you put that on there. And negotiating, when you're negotiating with the seller pays a portion
Right.
of that commission, but let's say it's 5% and they only pay 2.5%. The buyer is responsible for the other 2.5%. Now, in some cases, I'm going to be really honest with you. Some people that I work with cannot afford to pay that.
Mm-hmm.
So you do things like looking for a seller's credit to help offset that cost.
I got you.
So they don't have to bring as much to closing.
Right.
But the purpose of the agreement is saying I am committing to working with
Yes.
Realtor X.
Yeah.
And if you do not work with Realtor X and you move out of that and begin to work with somebody else, I'm going to give you another example. I can example
I
you
know
for
you-
4 hours.
I love
I had a client
Yeah.
last Wednesday. I've been working with them since the end of May, since before Memorial Day. They were pre-approved for $150,000. We couldn't find anything. I said, let me send you to another lender. Got them pre-approved for $255,000.
Right.
We started looking. We're looking at houses. We're looking at upwards between 10 and 13 houses. On a Tuesday, I was out with them until after 9 o'clock
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah.
I say to them, I'm not working Wednesday. We can pick this up on Thursday.
Yeah.
They text me at Wednesday evening at 6:30. Can we see this house ASAP? I text them
After you
back.
told them that you're unavailable on Wednesday.
My
Exactly.
office
Okay.
hours.
No, I didn't even say office hours because I have gone outside of my office
Right.
hours.
You're just not available Wednesday.
Exactly. I'm just not available Wednesday. I do have other clients that I have to attend to
End of life.
in the life.
Yes.
And I said, we can go anytime tomorrow. They got quiet. I called them Thursday morning, no answer.
Right.
I called them Thursday afternoon and text, no answer.
They're ghosting you.
They're ghosting me. So Thursday evening, she accidentally pocket dials me.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, how are you? I'm thinking, okay, they're ready. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hello. And this conversation with her husband, she's like, Mary's hell-bent on us answering this phone. And her husband says, that's on you. But here's my story. If you're not going to work with me anymore, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
First of all, you signed an agreement, so we have to mutually agree to release you from that agreement.
Exactly.
And second of all, let's be professional.
That's what
I
it
work
comes
in a
down to.
professional capacity.
Yes.
As you can see on my T-shirt, I believe in advocacy.
Yeah.
I believe in making sure people have the right opportunities, and I'm going to work my butt off for my clients.
Exactly.
Just have the conversation.
I think it's a character thing because I can appreciate. I didn't even know all these kind of. Let's say I use the word guardrails. That's my thing now, and it kind of regulates an industry because you can't have people walking away from things if they get frustrated. For instance, you just gave us a small sample size. I know you do a lot more, but you're over here trolling. You're on the computer. You're listing things. You're shooting. You're constantly thinking about your client, which to lawyers is billable hours.
Absolutely, absolutely. Retainer.
Yeah, retain. Thank you. And so, one little incident in which a person's kind of, I guess, anxiousness doesn't coincide with your availability, and now they're out here playing. They're playing at the other end of the fence, and they want to get somebody else. Go ahead.
End of the story.
Yeah.
So they go and they get an agent.
Yeah.
And I woke up Friday. I said, they're not calling me. So I called the listing agent and I was like, hey, do you have any offers on this property? She's like, we do have one that's in a counter offer situation. And I said, is this person X? And she said,
because you got a
"Let me
feeling,
see."
didn't you?
I did. Discernment.
Yeah.
And I said, is it X and X? And she was like, no, I said, is it X? And then she said, there's two names. I said, is it X and X? She was like, oh, I don't want to get in the middle of this. I said, you're not.
Yeah.
And she acknowledged that it was.
Yeah.
I said, I have exclusive buyer agency agreement. I didn't ask her who
Right.
the agent was.
Yeah.
I called the lender, which I referred them to.
Yeah.
The lender says it's agent X.
Yeah.
I give accolades to this agent because when I called her, she immediately said, oh, no, your representation agreement supersedes mine.
Yeah.
My contract is null and void.
Professional
That's
respect.
professional respect. She didn't argue about it. She said they told me that they were working with somebody, but they never signed it.
Yeah.
So she called them.
I respect that, especially in
Absolutely.
a business that I'm in. Is that my colleague
Absolutely.
/ rival respects that?
And I told her, I said, you can keep them.
Yeah.
I said, either way, I'm going to get paid.
Right.
I said, because she said, no. She says, professional courtesy
Yes.
is that I released them. She released them, and they apologized to her and said, we're sorry for wasting your time, yada, yada, yada. So they called the listing agent, thinking the listing agent will write the offer for them.
Right.
No.
Right.
So, and it's not anything that will happen to the agents, but buyer, you're going to have to pay me my commission.
And I don't understand, what the problem is with you. You get what I mean?
Exactly.
It was one day that you were not available. And once again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. And that is, a lot of us, once again, I haven't sold a house or anything like that ever. There tends to be this very arrogant attitude.
Yes.
That, you're working for me. You're lucky I'm breaking you off commission. I could be doing this myself.
Absolutely.
And so for you to dare say that you're unavailable that Wednesday, they're just, they're willing to walk away, break agreements, show lack of character, and then try to play up. If there was an unscrupulous person out there, maybe they would have gotten what they wanted, but they found out that people in your business have integrity.
So let me tell you what the lender said. He
Yeah.
called me yesterday. He said they text him and said, we're not going to buy in Indiana anymore. You know why?
Why?
Because they're tied to my exclusive agreement till October.
Yeah.
So you can pay me. You could get out of it. You could get out of it.
Buy
You
out
call
of
me
it.
and have a conversation with me.
Right.
I wouldn't even charge you my whole commission.
Yeah.
If I'm not a fit for you, although I was up until that one day.
That's it.
The house hit the market at 5 o'clock. They called me at 6:30. Nobody's gonna go. I would have gone to them at 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday.
Yeah.
To show them the house because it was empty.
Yeah.
But there's lack of communication and people are crafty.
Yeah.
But this is not what this is all about. I love what I do, don't get me wrong, but this is not a hobby.
Right.
And I advocate.
You don't have to apologize for that. It's your job.
I advocate
Yeah, you're a
for my
businesswoman.
clients.
Yeah.
And even if they had said, Mary, is there any way I could get into this house tonight? I probably would have gone at 9 o'clock.
Right. Right.
After I finished what I was doing.
Yeah.
And said, okay, please, y'all do it.
Right.
But I was willing, I said, anytime tomorrow. And at the end of the day, that would have been doing too much. You have to respect the fact that I'm saying, and I was upfront with you in advance.
Absolutely.
I'm not working Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do anything Thursday. I stayed out Tuesday night till 9. I didn't get home till 9:30.
Right.
combing the streets of Gary looking for houses for my clients.
Right. You didn't have to do
That's
that.
above and beyond.
Of course it is.
That's very much above and beyond it. And the fact that I know that they didn't get off until 7.
Right.
I'm like, let's do it. But I could have said, okay, evening is hitting us. I'm not going out after dark. It's not because it's Gary. It's because I want to be at home.
I know what you're saying.
I want to wind my day down.
Right.
But I'm out with combing this.
Well, you
doing
know, there are
this.
probably people in your profession that shut it down. They've got
5
families
o'clock.
that got kids. They run straight work. You know, they
5
bakers
o'clock,
hours.
they're done.
They're done. And
Yes.
so you'll have to deal with me next week. And
Absolutely.
if they've got a full calendar with
Yep.
multiple clients like yourself, you might have to deal with me next Thursday.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
what I want to say to the people, to the listening audience, is just respect your
Yeah.
agent.
Yeah.
Listen to your agent. We are the experts. Now, we may make a mistake, but for the most part, we know the market. And if I'm unsure of the market, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to call one of my colleagues and say, hey, run comps on this.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm on point.
Yeah.
And if I'm not on point, I'm going to adjust. I may take the middle ground. Like if their comp is lower or higher than
Yeah,
mine,
yeah.
I'm going to say, okay, cool. I'm going to go back and I'm going to reevaluate it. Because we don't always get it the first time. But as an agent,
Yeah.
I have people I'm around people who will say, okay, Mary, let's look at it. You're right on point.
Yeah.
Don't do an increase, don't do a reduction, let it sit.
Yeah.
So trust us. You have to trust us. We become spiritual leaders.
Absolutely.
We become therapists. We become babysitters. We become property managers.
Yeah.
We become advocates with your lenders. We work hard in your inspection process, negotiating the things that you want fixed.
Yeah.
We become the people that advocate for you if the appraisal doesn't come back right.
That's what I'm saying.
These are all of the things that we do to make sure that you get into the right house.
So what is the appropriate time that because what you're describing is a relationship that I would assume is very intimate, and you left one thing out that I think is really important, in particular when persons are buying a house. You are probably the person that really has the most understanding of a person's total financial situation.
Absolutely.
It's very intimate. It's sometimes a little revealing to the persons themselves, right?
Absolutely.
When you kind of think, I kind of can do this, and then you're kind of, you know, when you go over the numbers and when you contact the lenders, when you look at the rates and you're like, you know what, you really probably should not put yourself in a situation where you're paying this month. There's going to be a lot of incidentals.
Absolutely.
You talked about this with us
Yes.
last month, Yvonne.
Yes.
And so it's very, I think for some people it can be a little vulnerable.
It is,
You-
but here's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's vulnerable, but you still have to trust.
Thank you.
Because if my lender says my client only has $7,000 in the bank,
In the bank.
and they're trying to buy a $200,000 house, they're going to have a total of $13,000. So in my mind, I'm saying, okay, we got to look for a house where we can get a concession
Yeah.
of between, if it's FHA, up to 6%. But the thing is, you have to trust
You
us.
got to trust it.
And I can tell you, if it's just coming on the market, 1 day, 2 days, 5 days on the market, you're not going to get a 6% concession. You might get a 3% concession, but I'm going to
Depending
tell
on how
you,
desperate they are.
Exactly. And you know, I'm going to say to you, we can't look at this house.
Right.
Because you only have this much in the bank.
Yeah.
You need this much to close. Do you have someone that can give you a gift?
Yeah.
And I want to iron that out on the front end.
Yes.
Because I don't want to get close to closing and then this person, mom, uncle, whoever, that cannot give you the gift, or we can't vet the gift because it has to be vetted. You can't just somebody give you some money out of a tin pan.
I got you.
It has to be coming from a bank. The lender has to see it in
Right.
that person's account, leaving their
To
account.
make sure it's not
coming-
money being laundered or
Absolutely.
anything like that.
Absolutely. So you have, yes, we do know your business.
That's what I'm saying. And so,
and we cannot reveal that information.
so does it once again, coming back to you and your ethics and the way you and your and colleagues in your business operate, does it put you in a situation where at times the professional Mary Cossey is okay with walking away after the introductory conversation, and you're like, you know
Absolutely.
what, I might recommend that you go here, I you know, because you're wanting me to do stuff that I don't think I'm capable of doing for you.
I have fired myself. I have
Yeah.
fired myself on clients.
Yeah.
Because they don't listen.
Yeah.
They just don't listen. Example.
Yeah.
A client I'm working with, She's pre-approved for 278. We were out working with her for several months. She wouldn't listen. The houses that she wanted were not good houses.
Yeah.
They were houses, they were pigs with lipstick on them.
I got you.
I'm like, no, I can find her a good house. She doesn't want it. It's this. What about that? I said, I can explain that. The agent said they never cleared the stain. There was a leak in the roof. They fixed the leak. They never read in and fixed the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. That's a problem. Solid house.
Yeah.
Finally, she said, we got into a deal. And at the 11th hour, now this part wasn't her fault. At the 11th hour, the lender increased it because they couldn't count her in overtime.
Right.
She had the money to close and more than enough money. And she says, I don't have it. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
The client walked away. She said, I'm not going to do it. She lost her earnest money because she could close.
Right.
She failed to close. So the seller kept her earnest money, $3,000.
Yeah.
So I said to her, finally, I was like, person X, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm going to refer you to somebody else.
Yeah.
We had already had an agreement that she would pay me.
Yeah.
And she says, I sent her an invoice. She's like, oh, Miss C, I can't do that right now. Yes, you can.
Right.
So I calmed back. I said, okay, you're going to pay me half. I'm giving you 30 days
Yeah.
to find something. And if we don't find anything, you have to pay me the rest. She paid me. She's willing.
Yeah.
But it's just not listening.
Yeah.
Just not listening. And it's almost an overreach for her because she is the only person buying the house. She has 2 adults and a grandchild that's going to move into the house. I said, ask them
Yeah. If they can
to
contribute.
help contribute
Yes.
to this. Well, I just want to be able, if it's just me, but it's going to be 4 adults in this house.
Living in this home.
They should have some equity in this house.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you add your sister to the loan so you can buy more house, so you can get 4 bedrooms, 3 baths,
Right.
a renovated house.
Yes.
You want 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, renovated, full basement, 2-car attached garage.
And you taking all that on
and
yourself.
you're pre-approved for 273. It's not gonna happen.
Right. And people don't want to hear you tell them that. Once again, that goes back to the point that I appreciate, and that is that you have to sit here and talk to people and sometimes give them a reality check about where we think we are in our lives. You know, like I said, you know, we've been working a place, we got a nice little salary, we have had this idea in our heads that this is what our next move is going to be, and then you kind of go over, you know the market, you've been here, done that, this is what you do for a living, and you come back to me and say, well, not so fast. And then now we're mad at you.
Yep. And then here's the other
Yeah.
piece to it. For the 4 bedrooms, 3 baths that she wants with a garage, we could get her that
Yeah.
at her price point in Gary.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in Gary. I said, X, it's nothing wrong with living in Gary.
Right.
This house is beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's in a well-maintained neighborhood.
Right.
I just don't want Gary. And I'm like, you know what?
I can't.
There's nothing I can do for you.
I can't.
There's absolutely nothing. I'm not
yeah.
going to steer you in the wrong direction.
Right.
I'm not.
I love this, Mary. Like I said, I want to kind of wrap it up and bring it back because there are so many chronicles to this. You know, we're not done yet. But I guess we'll call this segment. I guess we're introducing people about how to, what a real estate agent is.
Respect your agent. Now, there are some agents that you might not want to deal with, but get to know your agent.
Yeah.
Listen to your agent.
It's a very personal relationship, isn't it?
Yes. So I closed a lady. She called me. No, that's not true. She closed. She bought a house in Maryville, beautiful house.
Yeah.
I called her. I said, hey, I'm just checking in. I hadn't heard from you. Everything must be going good. She's like, it is. She's like, matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a thing for my housewarming. I said, you got it. I said, as a matter of fact, when you have your housewarming, I will bring drinks.
Ah.
So that's an opportunity.
I might have to buy a house just for you to
buy the drinks,
so you can close it.
I'm
and
gonna
come with
bring
the
the drinks, and people understand, and it's the word of mouth.
Yeah.
Chelsea
is
my client.
Yeah, you told me.
Yes, she's referred people to me.
Yeah.
This lady.
It's what she does anyway.
Absolutely. And it's not because I'm her client. This was well before I was her client.
Right.
It's yes. And if you do a good job,
people will talk about
People
it.
will talk
I know
about
I do.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I work with attorneys that have estates.
Yes.
They send me the business because I do a good job.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not braggadocious, that's facts. And I am probably the person that will least likely say I am the ish.
Right.
Because I don't like that.
No.
I don't like when people say that. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
I know what you're saying.
I'm like, don't do that.
Right.
But listen to your agent, whether it's me or Maya Gonzalez and Eric Fort, Roberts, or
Yeah.
whoever it is, because I'm not afraid to share great agents.
I like that.
If it's any of those people, trust your agent like you trust your doctor.
I believe it's a
Like
it's
you
the-
trust your doctor.
It's the very. I
Great
agree. And so
segue.
lastly, I'm going to ask you this because you kind of alluded to it with the drinks, and I'm focused on that. But have you do you get thank you gifts? Because it is a very interesting. Do people ever call you after the 1 year anniversary of being in that great home and they're starting their family and they say, I just wanted to send you this because you have helped, me shape my life, or me and my husband, or me and my wife are really enjoying ourselves. Thank you.
I have gotten closing gifts. I always take a closing gift for my clients.
Yeah.
I have gotten closing gifts. One young lady bought me she knew I was a Delta. She bought me a beautiful jewelry box that was made with an elephant on it.
Oh.
An agent has given me a box.
Yeah.
With like relaxation stuff in it. Her
Oh.
name is Lakia.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lakia.
Yeah.
I've had other clients to give me gift cards.
Yeah.
Saying thank you for this, that kind of thing. So yes, it is reciprocated.
Yeah. Because it's a personal relationship.
It's a personal
Yeah.
relationship. I've had people call me, yes, we got to go
Yeah.
out. But it's a personal relationship. And again, great segue is like having a great relationship and having trust in your doctor. And my sister who's coming up next.
All right. So, we're going to be talking to her. Before you leave, though, our protocol. I always want people to go out here and give the logistics, especially after great
Absolutely.
interviews. So tell people how to find you.
All right,
Agent
guys.
extraordinaire.
Thank you. Call me at 219-313-5072. I'm on Facebook as Mary LC. I'm on Instagram as Mary Cossey Sells Homes. And my website is marycossey.cb.moxie.com.
I like it. Well, Mary, always a pleasure. I
Thank
learned so
you.
much when you're here. I'm not just
Thank
saying that. I
you.
really
Thank
do. And I
you.
think we're all the better for it. All right.
Thank you.
The cavalcade of ladies continues because coming up next is our monthly doctor's visit. Dr. Janet Seabrook, of course, is in here. Extraordinary, proprietress extraordinaire of Community Health Net. Also, of course, the Public Health Commissioner for the city of Gary. And then later on at the